Hello and welcome to the 25-hour working week, and it's sort of what I've become known for, my 25-hour working week, how and why I achieved that. I'm going to share some slides and sort of tell you about my story and how you can do it too, because actually that's what you really want to know, isn't it? It's how you can do it, not how I did it. So I call it the ScaleUp Blueprint. Just trying to make a way. Yes, I used all this in order to work efficiently and get a better work-life balance, but you can also do it in order to scale up your business. And because it allows you to be independent of your business, or rather your business to be independent of you, that also makes it more saleable. So if you do this, you get a better work-life balance, and or you get a more efficient, more profitable business, and or you get to scale up your business and have a bigger, more profitable business, and or you get a more saleable business. So 4 reasons why this is really worth doing. Let's have a little look at the slide, see how we go. So the first S obviously stands for systemizing. We want to systemize everything in sight and then put a friendly front end on, because clients still want to deal with the human being. So AI, technology, all sorts of systems, checklists are great, but let's make sure that we are easy for clients to deal with. So systemizing, and I don't just mean technology, I mean processes, written processes that you can follow. Now, if you're a small practice, you might just have a checklist, things like that to work through, quite useful just to make sure everything is done. So what we want is high standards, repeatable processes. So we have the same high standards each and every time. To allow you to operate on a 25-hour working week. Now, mine was a 25-hour working week because that's what my kids were at school, and I built my business to fit around them. So if I needed to get more done, I needed to make more money, then I needed to work more efficiently. I couldn't just work 60, 80 hours a week. And it may well be that you are doing that 60, 80-hour week and wondering how to get back down to this. So we've got processes for dealing with that as well. It's a lot of what I do with my coaching, actually, is talking to people who are working far too many hours for not enough money. But basically, we are systemizing, automating, and delegating. So this is my lovely team when I worked at Hudson Accountants. So I'm a chartered accountant and business owner. I have had stints working in industry, working in IT, taught me how to run businesses. When I became a mother, I never had any ambition to work for myself, but it was the only way to get the flexibility, which is why I set up Hudson Accountants, which is my first accountancy practice. We specialized in business advice. When I sold that, I set up Hudson Business Advice, which helps other accountants, bookkeepers to do the same. And then in COVID, I set up Minerva Accountants, my second practice, because there were just so many businesses out there needing help, and it was something I could do in my sleep. So that probably sounds awful if you're just trying to set up your business. You're going, oh, I can't even do it, let alone in my sleep. But once you've done it before, then you sort of know what you're doing. And that's why I want to lay out the blueprint to help you to get there faster. Somebody said it cuts, my book cut 3 years, my book and course cut 3 years off setting up their business. So yeah, it would be great if that could do that for you as well. And I've written books about it. The Numbers Business Up is the first book. I wrote another book for business owners, and then the third book's Changing the Numbers, about advisory. I speak, I write, I coach accountants, anything to help you to achieve what I wanted to more easily. We also have Minerva Technology, which is a tiny little side hustle of a fintech. But it allows me to say I run 3 businesses and I have a fintech, which is technically true. But really, I have one real business with staff, one coaching consultancy business, which is me and my PA, and then I have the little fintech side hustle. I'm also on ICAW Council, and for this year and next year, I am chair of the local West of England ICAW, because now my kids have grown and flown, I have plenty of time on my hands to do things. So what are we looking at? We are looking at systemizing our business. So we'll start obviously with the compliance, well, obviously, because C is the next letter, but also compliance is most of what we spend our time doing. So let's talk about how we get the data in, into how we get the data out. We want that to work as efficiently as possible. So we use Bright Manager, and there are workflows in there. It holds all our clients' information and it sends out all the reminders automatically. It allows us to track our tasks online, although we also have some nice working spreadsheets, because much as I love Bright Manager, the reporting that comes out of it isn't as good as it could be. So I'm talking to their product team on that. But in the meantime, we pull it all out into spreadsheets. So we're chasing the information in from our clients as efficiently as possible. We're processing it as efficiently as possible. We have our own working papers and checklists, and then we get it out to them and signed online. And we do everything digitally. Now that data in, sometimes we just do accounts, sometimes we do the bookkeeping as well. So to get the data in, we use software like Apron, HubDoc for the tiny ones, and we've got one client on Dext, just because Apron doesn't integrate with Free Agent, which is what he's on. And he's very happy on Free Agent, and it would be wrong of us to try and move him. So we get the data in as efficiently as we can. We get it all in digitally. It might be that you have papers. I would still suggest that you use digital stuff as far as possible. So if it's invoices, we used to just keep a spare phone in the office, which had the software on, so we could just take the photos and upload. Because if they come in as nice, neat, flat A4, that's great. You can whiz them through a scanner. If they come in as crumpled receipts or stapled or whatever, it's often easier just to take the photo and upload that. So use the mechanisms to get that. If clients send you paper bank statements, then scan them to PDF and whack them through something like I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, there's software that you can run that through, and you can also run it through Dext to get that. I would say don't just use any old PDF scanner, because the proper accountancy ones recognize the bank's statement format and they produce it so it's just nice and easy to upload into whatever software you want to use. So we get it in. As far as possible, we get our clients using Xero, but if not, then we're able to do the bookkeeping for them or upload into our Xero ledger to do that. We do the compliance, and then we churn out the accounts on Xero Tax. Now, the actual accounts production process, we should all be following something fairly similar, but we need to map out, and I would suggest start by mapping out what you do now. We originally used to do it on paper. This was for a demonstration for somebody. We'd normally just put it out on the boardroom table and use different coloured post-it notes. Top tip: before you pick it up, sellotape the post-it notes on, because otherwise you pick it up and they all drop off. So we looked at the stages of the process, what forms did we need, what checklists did we need, and things like that. You can also do it on an electronic whiteboard if you want to do it. It's one of the few things where I prefer paper, is mapping out processes, because it's much more visual. I do have a physical whiteboard that I use as well, and I use that for planning my books, just to just draw loads of things. And I'm a visual person, that's what I do. But I would suggest start by mapping out what you do now and get your team involved as well. And then the valuable bit is another blank thing and work out what it should look like. If you've got your team involved, they're then bought into the process. Sellotape it all on, go away, get somebody to write it up into a process. And then gradually, get somebody to work through using the process, and they'll flesh it out with the bits that they don't know, the things that they need. And that should be a living document. It should be constantly improving, because we're all about continuous improvement. So we start where we are today, assess how well it's working, use your team, make some decisions about what it should be, implement it. Now, if it's your accounts process, then that's fine. If it's something that involves clients, I would say start with your favorite client. Let them know they're your favorite client and they are going to be on a bit of a dummy run and you'd love their feedback. When you're happy with that, then roll it out to 2 more clients, then to 5, to 10, to many. Always start with your friendliest client and get them working with you. You get your win, and then continuous improvement process. We're back to the beginning. So every so often you need to be doing this again, just to make sure that things are improving all the time. And I would say when you get new members of staff, it's great to see them using your training processes. Using your processes in order to train them. It gets them up and running far faster, and therefore they're much more efficient. So the next A, we do a lot of advisory, and that's what changing the numbers is all about. It may or may not be for you. I think we all do some sort of advisory in there, whether we do it and get paid for it, whether we do it as a separate chargeable thing, or whether if you just use it, as an add-on to your accounts, then you might not be charging for it, but you can probably tweak a little bit extra on your fees, and you certainly become much more referable. Happy clients, they'll stay with you longer and they'll refer their friends to you. So I think it's something that we should all be doing. If you don't do advisory, throw them my way. You do the accounts, we'll do the advisory, everybody's happy, and we do a non-compete on that. So we get the information in from the accounts, the bookkeeping, whatever. Now, advisory, there's all sorts of pre-advisory software. All the vendors will say that you can use it for advisory, and it's great. You've got Xero Insights, you've got Capitalize, you've got Target, you've got all sorts of things that are useful for that. All your management account software is pre-advisory. For me, advisory is changing the numbers. There are 2 main things you can do for this. I'm a qualified business coach, so we use a coaching methodology, but we also use Clarity HQ software, and that's great because that's connects to Xero and to other software as well, pulls in the numbers, and then you get to show your client what happens. If they increase their price by 2%, there's the impact on turnover, but also the impact on profit. What can they do if they collect cash faster? Things like that. So we're able to talk to them about all that, and they can see the numbers change as you move the slider on that. Also, they have Numina, their AI assistant, and that will tell you the sort of things, the highlights in their accounts, and help you to, from the whole list of actions in their library, will help you to identify what they need to do. So you sit there in the meeting, you drag across all these actions, and then it produces a report at the end. And Numina tells you what to do. So it's pretty much scripted for you. It will cover 80% of the standard advisory. So it means that you don't need to be, it doesn't need one of your partners to do it. It can just be an accountant who's been around the block and a bit of experience. So we use, and that's our value added service. Going back a bit, we do our lead generation. So we want more of those clients. So we've got happy clients and they'll be referring things. But our leads, we need to know our ideal client, and then we need to set up everything to promote ourselves to that ideal client. So we have 2 things. We have our hunting niche, which is where we're going to do all our promotions. We also have our operational niche, which may be the same as the hunting niche. It might be a bit wider. So for my coaching, my hunting niche is accountants and bookkeepers, but actually 50% of my coaching clients are business owners who are nothing to do with accounts or bookkeeping. But they sort of come along, oh, you're a business, can you do this, can you help with that, and things like that. So lawyers, all sorts of other professional services mainly. And it's similar with our clients. We promote geographically within Bristol and a bit beyond, and yet we have clients all around the country. So everything is written for our ideal client. If you've ever read any of our marketing and thought that you might be interested in the coaching or the Numbers Business Online course, then you're probably our ideal client, because it would be written to speak to you. If you looked at it and thought, it's not for me, then you're probably not our ideal client. There you go. It's all a bit self-selecting. Saves you having a phone call to talk to me if you didn't feel it was for you. If you do feel it's for you, then why haven't you arranged a phone call? So we have our lead generation. And the other thing, all the materials, the content that I generate, we use multiple ways. And it's not always me. So we have a weekly top tips. So you might be receiving the top tips for accountants and bookkeepers, but we also do one for our business owners, which has got a business tip I generate, and it's got a tax tip. So what we do with the business tip is it goes out in that weekly top tips email. It also goes onto the blog and it gets shared on social media. But I don't do any of that. I delegate it to my fabulous business manager, Kate, and she turns it from, a few paragraphs in a Word document, she gets it all out there. So she deals with Active Campaign, which is the CRM system we use for these things, and she also helps to put that into onto the website. The tax tip goes out much the same way. She makes fancy cards on social media. She's far more creative and artistic than me. And every so often I'll have a day and I'll do 1 minute tax tip videos. So face to camera, just on my phone, tax tip videos, and they get shared on social media. They go as shorts on our YouTube site, because YouTube is a great search engine, and at the moment at least it's prioritizing the shorts. So they're on there. And I'm also turning those top tips into a book, which I will update annually, and that will be available to our clients and our non-clients. So it's our marketing material. So I don't know about you. I don't have a whole marketing department full of people. I don't even have me full-time on marketing. I have a few hours per week. So I use that wisely. I'm the content creator. Kate has a few hours a week. She used that to get it all out there in multiple formats. It's lazy marketing. It's also very efficient marketing. So we're sharing that content multiple ways. So we use the leads. We get our ideal clients coming in. If they're not our ideal clients, then we have a discovery call and turn that fairly quickly. So we have our discovery call. So they get in touch. We book in a discovery call, 30 minutes, and I produce a quote in the meeting. So the first bit is, again, there's a procedure for dealing with this. I've asked them about their business. They tell me, and then it's what they want from an accountant. And it's about matching people. They've seen what we can do online, so we're now matching. So can we help them? And then we come up with the price in the meeting, and then you wait and say, how does that sound? So now I get a response straight away. It's either a yes, that sounds about right, in which case, shall I send that out and then you can get signed up? It's a no. And it might be an absolute no. It might be, yeah, that's a bit too expensive, in which case we can look, okay, can you do the bookkeeping yourself? Can you send that out to a bookkeeper rather than have us do it? Whatever, can we not do the individual coaching? Perhaps we'll just do group coaching or something like that for them. So we don't drop our prices, we don't discount, but we will amend the package so that they can do different things. So we then cost that up and maybe get a yes. If it's a not think about it, then they still get the same quote and we chase them up in a week. Now we do those quotes, just a simple proposal through Bright Manager, nothing fancy. You can do videos and so on through Go Proposal, and we have a fixed price list. It's all on a spreadsheet that the client doesn't see. Well, there's no reason they can't see it, but we tend not to see that, so we just present them with a total price, and then we start collecting their data. We look at pricing, we look at our people, and we also look at ourselves, because you are a person too. We need to make sure that you look after yourself so that you are able to do the best for your team and for your clients. So people, pricing, and you, of course. So we're automating, systemizing, and delegating. So some work for you to do. What systems do you need to document to start with? So what's the good stuff? What's the stuff that you need to improve? What repeat jobs would benefit from systems? Can you set up the workflows? And where are you personally a bottleneck? So that's part of the idea. If you're looking at, if you're working too many hours, or if you're trying to think of selling your business in future, or if you're blocking the scale. So where are you the bottleneck? So let's start carving off bits of your job by writing down what you do and getting somebody else to do it, or getting something else in the way of technology to do that. Invest in that to free up your time. So can you delegate and control it via software? So if you want any more information on any of this, I'm not really on Twitter anymore. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, all as Della Hudson FCA. You can sign up for our top tips for accountants. They'll arrive each Monday morning. We've got the numbers business and the changing the numbers books. There's also a course, an online course, the numbers business online, rather unimaginatively named. You can tell I'm an accountant, not a creative. Get straight to the point on all these things, as does the course. The next cohort starts Wednesday, the 4th of June. So that's 13 online webinars and it's 10 online coaching sessions. So the webinars are pre-recorded, the coaching sessions are live, so you get to ask your questions. If you don't want to do the course, then we do individual and group coaching as well. So you'll find all that on the website hudsonbusiness.co.uk/accountants. Right, with that, hopefully that's given you some ideas on how to run your own business and to achieve that 25-hour working week, or just to use the same ideas to scale up and to make your business more saleable. Take care and see you next time. Bye.